I be the bad guy. Thought that you was me. That was lies coming. It doesn't really like make me feel no type of way other than like it's not true. Like there's things on there that's like, and what am I supposed to do? Keep rapping with Partisan?
Bia. Let's talk about this debut album from Bia called Bianca. First, we're going to talk about the actual album and the music and the lyrics and do a little bit of a breakdown. But then at the end of the video, we're going to talk about the mistakes that she has made outside of the booth. So first off, I want to start out by saying that Bia is incredibly talented. Like, I was unaware of how good of a singer that she is. Like, on October, Pray For You, Awake, Crazy, like, there's multiple songs on this album where Bia sounds like a legit singer. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm a super fan of Bia, but when Bia puts out music, I tend to check for it. And there isn't, I don't have anything in my head that reminds me that, oh yeah, Bia does this. Bia's like a legit singer. And that was surprising to me. And I say it was surprising, but it was surprising in a good way because I was unaware of how talented she is. But it was also surprising in a bad way because, in my opinion, that's not how you want to introduce yourself to the world as a rapper. Now, maybe she doesn't want to be considered just a rapper. Maybe she wants to show all of her versatility, which she has plenty of. But for your debut album, with a lot of eyes watching you, why not step out the gate with your best bars? Set the tone. Let people know, like, hey, this is what I'm about. I'm going to spit. I'm going to give you bars. I'm going to give you double entendres, all that stuff. I'm going to talk my shit. I'm going to show you that I'm the baddest bitch out here. And for her to start the album out with a somber singing song and then go to rap, it's just, we're bouncing back and forth a little too much. And maybe that might be a little bit of the problem. Now, I get it. As artists, as creatives, it's hard to put people in a box. You don't want to just be known for one thing. You don't want to be just known for just rapping or for just singing or for party songs or for introspective songs or for an international sound or for a Hispanic sound. There's a lot of things that Bia can do. There's a lot of tentacles that Bia could reach out to. But Bia is still a fairly new artist and, quite frankly, a low-level artist. And she needs to grab one singular fan base. Now, it's going to be hard to do that when you're trying to grab rap fans and you're trying to grab the R&B girls and you're trying to grab the international audience and you're trying to grab the Hispanic audience. You're grabbing for too many things right now when you're so new and still fresh out of the box. I would have suggested that Bia just give us her best 2 to 3 rap songs. Just out the rip, the best bars that you got, and that's how you introduce yourself to the mainstream. Now, when it comes to newer rappers, and particularly female rappers, I tend to pay attention to who they feature with, who they collaborate with, who they put on their albums. For Bia to come out with Key Glock, ASAP Ferg, Denzel Curry, and JID on the extended version, that lets me know that she cares about rapping. Like, those aren't just run-of-the-mill, not serious rappers. Like, JID might have the album of the year. Denzel Curry is one of the best underground rappers going right now. Same with ASAP Ferg. And for her to grab those types of features when she could have, picked something a little bit more easy, a rapper that's maybe not lyrically on that kind of level, that would have been the easy thing to do. But she went out and got real spitters, which is why the intro to this album was so disappointing to me. Like, you're rapping with legitimate rappers. Show the people that you can rap. Like, you listen to songs like Bad Guy and Trifling, you can legitimately hear Lil Kim's flow and voice on these songs. Like, that is what Bia is going for. That is the sound and the tonality that she's going for. And you can hear the influence. Lean into your ability to rap and to talk your shit. And like I said earlier, Bia has the versatility. She can go into her R&B bag. She can do a pop song. She can do a hardcore rap song. She can go international. She can do the London drill song. She has a good flow and a unique style. But I just feel like for your intro album, your debut album, you've got to give us You've got to focus in on one thing and then maybe sprinkle in other stuff here and there. But for the most part, people should listen to this and feel like they listen to a rap album. Whereas now we listen to it and it's just like, okay, this album is kind of all over the place for a new act. And when it comes to being in the music business, although I don't care about first week sales, I don't care about streams or chart placement or any of that stuff, but you also have to play the game because the music business is a business. Play the game. That whole lot of money remix you did with Nicki Minaj back in 2021, put that on this album. Put it, you can put it at the very end, you could put it in the middle somewhere, but put it on there to run these numbers up to give you more eyes on this project. Does anybody remember the Bad Boys 3 soundtrack? Does anybody remember any songs from that? Anything that caught your ear? Anything that stood out? Do you guys remember that Bad Boys 3 had a soundtrack? I'm probably just informing you of that information. But on said soundtrack, she had a song with JID. That song should have been on this album and not on the extended version. You should have fought for that song. Nobody cares about the Bad Boys 3 soundtrack. And I saw Bad Boys 3 the day it came out. I love Bad Boys 3. You should not be giving away rapping songs with a rapping ass nigga like JID to the Bad Boys 3 soundtrack, respectfully. But play the game and get these bigger name artists on your project. And like I said, there's good rapping songs on here. There's good pop records on here. I think Ready Set is a banger. I think there's a lot of songs that she could pull from to get her more eyes on her and on this project, which I think is actually pretty solid and one of the better projects of the year. It sneakily might be able to crack the top 10. And now we're going to talk about the mistakes. We're going to talk about the misses that Bia had. And this all has to do, and they're going to be linked together for a good little while. But the Cardi B thing. Cardi B smoked your boots on Pretty and Petty on her album, her big album. And your response was, responding to Cardi B is beneath me. And it shouldn't be. You need as many eyes on this project as possible. You need as many people gravitating to your project as possible. And for you to come out of the gate and immediately say, I'm not responding to Cardi B on this project, a lot of people decided at that very moment, well, I have nothing to listen to. I don't want to hear anything from Bia because I don't really know Bia. And if she's not going to diss Cardi B, why would I go listen to that project to get the tea, to get the lowdown? And Bia had plenty of opportunities to say something to Cardi B. Like on Bad Guy, that song was only 2 verses. Throw another verse at the end of that song. On 4-4, on Guava, on your rapping songs, throw a shot at Cardi. Give her a verse. Let her know that you want to play. And let's say you had this date picked out, and this was the day that you had to do it. Well, too bad. Push the album back until you can get in the booth and get a Fire 16. That's it. Because pushing let's talk this out. What's the worst thing that could happen if Bia pushes her album back? People on the internet think that she's scared that Cardi pushed her off the block. That's one way to look at it. But there's also the other side. There's also the anticipation. What is Bia gonna say? Is she going to respond? And you let people know. I'm pushing my album back and I'm coming for Cardi B's neck on this album, on my time, on my project. And maybe push it back until, well, you can't do it on Christmas because that's Mariah Carey's time. But do it on the day that Cardi B goes on tour. Do it on a very important date for Cardi B. So people will, whenever they listen to Cardi B, they'll be more likely to see you and you'll fall into that algorithm. When people search Cardi B, Bia's name is going to pop up. That diss record will pop up. Your album will pop up and more people will gravitate toward and listen to it. And maybe say you don't want to diss Cardi B. Say you're just like, you know what, maybe it is above me. But you still want to let her know that you're paying attention. Maybe allude to some of the men that's in her lives. Maybe allude to Offset or Stefan Diggs on NWFA, a song about how men will literally sleep with anybody. Offset and Stefan Diggs have a reputation. Maybe throw some allegations in there. Maybe dirty Mac a little bit. Maybe play in the mud a little bit. It might not feel right, but let her know, like, hey, I'm still here. If you want to be more petty, just throw shots at Party. He's the one behind a lot of these Cardi songs anyway, and let people know, like, hey, it's beneath me to diss Cardi B. So I'm going to diss her writer. I'm going to diss Party because he's the one that's writing this. And that would really put egg on Cardi B's face because now she has to get in the booth and try to do it herself. Or she has to get in the booth and bring Party in there, which kind of validates your point about I'm a better rapper than you. And that's the thing. You're not gonna outsell Cardi. You're not gonna beat her on the internet. You're not gonna beat her in popularity. But if you can out rap her, if you can show that you're the better rapper, if you can show your lyrical ability and show how talented of a rapper you are, people will respect that. People respected artists like Pusha T, who was a smaller artist, now a legendary artist, but still a smaller artist compared to someone like Drake. Pusha T is never going to sell the amount of records that Drake sells. He's never going to have the popularity that Drake has. But in the back of people's minds, whenever you mention Pusha T, they know that he's not one to be played with because he took down Drake, regardless of star power. And that could have been the same thing for Bia. People could have been talking about Cardi B, big star, millions of records sold, Grammys, all that stuff. But Bia smoked her boots. Lyrically just outclassed her. And you could have had that. And this album should have been the album that catapulted you into the spotlight, into the mainstream. And I still think this album is really, really good. There's some really good raps on here. There's some really good songs. But Bia, you have to play the game.
Thanks for watching, babe. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
You made it this far. If you have not liked the video at this point, what are you waiting for? Just like the video. Hit the like button right now. I'm talking to you. Make sure you like the video and subscribe and drop a comment. All that stuff. This is a threat. Not a threat, a warning. But it could be a threat. Just do it.